What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Comically Boston Monday morning podcast where we will talk about the weekly nerdy news and everything that happened over the last week. And it was a big week for movie news with CinemaCon happening over the last week and all the presentations from the different companies, Lionsgate, Sony, Warner Brothers, Disney. There was a bunch of people out there, Universal, all telling us what the movie slate might look like for the next 2-3 years, and I'm very excited to get into all the information and talk about it with y'all. But some of the biggest news we got over the last week was that Mr. Val Kilmer passed away, and I absolutely love Val Kilmer. He's a goat. He was fantastic in Heat, as Iceman in Top Gun, as Batman in Batman Forever. It's very sad that he's gone. What a legend, and the Iceman, and I'm so glad that he got to reprise his role in Top Gun Maverick and kind of get a goodbye send-off in that. It heartbreaking though. But to brighten your spirits a little bit, it has been bought by the ketchup company for like $15 million, and the movie Coyote vs. Acme, that was previously canceled for, I believe, tax purposes from Warner Brothers, has been bought and will be released at some point in the year. So if you want to support this movie that got canceled, you gotta go to the theaters and make sure this movie makes $1 billion, because Coyote vs. Acme deserves it. It, survived the cancellation, and I've heard nothing but good things about this wild Looney Tunes film, you know what I mean? But to kick off the CinemaCon news, they had a 2026 film slate on the board. They had Avengers Doomsday, of Disney Pixar movies called Hoppers, Spider-Man 4, which we'll get into the new title of Spider-Man 4, which is like the biggest piece of news for the day for me. Moana 3 is coming. He-Man, Master of the Universe's movie. Scream 7. A Street Fighter movie. I'm quite interested to see a trailer for that. Super Mario Bros. 2, which is awesome. The Odyssey, Christopher Nolan's film's coming next year. Shrek 5. Hunger Games from the new book, Sunrise on the Reaping. Jumanji, Mandalorian and Grogu, Mega Minions, Clayface from Warner Brothers DC, Ice Age 6, The Hunt for Gollum, a movie, another Lord of the Rings movie, Hunting Gollum, Supergirl movie with Millie Alcock from DC, Toy Story 5, a Hail Mary movie, which I think Ryan Gosling's in that, and it's like a space movie, and then Fast X Part 2 or Fast 11, whichever they end up using as a title, but too many Fast and Furiouses. But another piece of news that came out, in talking a little bit more about those movies that weren't on those lists, and maybe a couple that were, that got some dates. A live-action Zelda movie is coming March 26, 2027. That's pretty interesting. I mean, for the Zelda fans out there, I have a Switch. I need to get Tears of the Kingdom, I think. But Ice Age 6 poster has a spear in Manny's hand. So are we heading back to the original film and encountering human civilization again? I wouldn't mind that. The little kid that they saved, bringing him back, I wouldn't mind that at all. A Jumanji 3 is coming with The Rock, and rumor has it that Jack Black is busy in scheduling conflicts or something and he won't be back. But I feel like if you don't have Karen Gillan, Kevin Hart, The Rock, and Jack Black all back for this movie, then it's not worth it. The next Hunger Games film we also have a date for. The Hunger Games Sunrise on the Reaping is coming to theaters November 20th of 2026. And then day one of CinemaCon was basically Sony's day, and they announced a couple of things that are huge and so interesting. We got an update on the next Beyond the Spider-Verse movie, the third of the Spider-Verse trilogy for Miles Morales in the animated universe, and the poster here is pretty sick. I'm not sure if this is fan-made or if this was shown at CinemaCon, but either way it's sick, with the Spider Miles on one side, Miles G. Morales on the other side from the different universe. Very interesting to see what that Prowler Miles and our Miles going up against each other will be like. But we got some promo art from the movie, and we found out that it will pick up right where it left off with Gwen. So the start of this third movie will be exactly the moment that the second movie ended, with these guys teaming up to go save Miles and team up with Miles, I'm guessing. or find him throughout the multiverse. But here's a shot of Miles G. Morales with the pink prowler, the gauntlet gloves, and falling through some type of portal, I'm guessing. Or maybe that's just like street lights and he's like attacking Miles or something. Here's a world that some people are guessing is Hobie Brown's world. You know, kind of very interesting animation style that we haven't seen. So definitely a world that we're not encountered yet throughout the two movies. Great shot of Miles and Miles fighting each other, and one Miles is on the wall and the other Miles is ready to just attack, and it looks like our Miles is maybe trying to talk him out of killing him type of thing. I have a feeling that Miles will talk into Miles fighting together against Spot. But here's another shot of Miles on the side of a bus, and you can see like the New York retro city art style that he's in for this city. This, I believe, is Miles G. Morales' home world is where this is. Kind of like, you know, the world that we saw at the very end of the last movie. But yeah, it's super interesting, and all the news that we have from that is that it's coming June 4th, 2027. It picks up right where it left off with Spider Gwen teaming up and finding her new band, if you would. And there will be new animation styles, and it's going to be a massive finale and really summing up the three parts of that Spider-Verse. And I think it's all the better for it. But even more exciting news is that we got a new title for Spider-Man 4. And Dustin Daniel Cretton, the director of Shang-Chi and now the director of Spider-Man 4, was on stage talking about it. I'm pretty sure Tom Holland was there. And it's so cool that we got a new title and a new date. And Spider-Man 4 is going to be called Spider-Man Brand New Day. And it is exclusively in movie theaters July 31st, 2026. And of course, I'm hoping it picks up right where it left off with us not knowing who Peter Parker is anymore. Spider-Man lives on. Peter has died, and Spider-Man lives on with his new homemade suit with the really teal, light blue, shiny blue, and the red. It looks really, really good, and we haven't really gotten a whole lot to see of this, but Dustin also confirmed that we will be getting a new suit at some point in this movie. But I just think it's awesome that we are moving away from the home trilogy, and Tom Holland is the first Spider-Man to get a fourth movie. Tobey was in the talks to get a fourth movie, but never got one. Tom here is in his fourth solo movie, and so now we went from Spider-Man Homecoming, Far From Home, No Way Home, and now we're in the Day trilogy is what I'm guessing, and it will be Brand New Day, One More Day, and then like Save the Day. I don't know, like I'm guessing Day will be the new trilogy for Spider-Man. And of course Brand New Day is a comics run that people were like, oh my god, this is a terrible comics run. Some people hate it. Some people hate the One More Day comics run that this leads into, I believe. But it also kind of makes sense in a story standpoint from the MCU and what's happened in No Way Home. And they don't necessarily adapt these comics directly, but they, you know, adapt them and take elements from them. So, you know, maybe you might want to go brush up on the Brand New Day comic if you want to see maybe where things could be going for our boy Peter. Although it might be different. But that is definitely a comic I'll be picking up today at the comic book shop. So the next 5 Marvel projects coming up are Thunderbolts in May, which I'm so excited for. Avengers Doomsday the following May. In July, Fantastic Four, right? So then we go Thunderbolts, Fantastic Four, Avengers Doomsday. So the next 3 are bangers. And then in between the 2 Avengers movies, we get Avengers Doomsday, Spider-Man 4, and then Avengers Secret Wars. I'm guessing there might be another movie in between May 2026 and May 2027. We just don't know what it is yet. But as of right now, those are the next 5 Marvel movies. That's insanity. Day 2 of CinemaCon brought out Lionsgate and Warner Brothers, although Warner Brothers played it safe and didn't really release a whole bunch of stuff to the public, but released like a new Superman trailer to the audience there, and then it started to get leaked, so then they released it themselves, and it was supposed to be a preview that was only showing in front of the Minecraft movie, but now it is out online, and maybe though in movie one is like slightly longer, but we got like a 4 or 5 minute preview, sneak peek preview of Superman, and I currently have that breakdown on the channel up already in reaction to that trailer. So if you want to check that out, go ahead. But Lionsgate came out and announced that the Now You See Me 3 title is Now You See Me, Now You Don't, and that will be coming out November 14th of this year, 2025. And a fourth film, a fourth Now You See Me, is in the works. So magic is on its way, baby. There was also news that a Once Upon a Time in Hollywood sequel is happening at Netflix, and it focuses more on the adventures of Cliff Booth, which is Brad Pitt's character. And Quintin Tarantino wrote the script, but decided not to direct. And Brad liked it so much that he pitched it to David Fincher. So David Fincher might be making a Once Upon a Time in Hollywood sequel film starring Brad Pitt with Netflix? I don't know, that's pretty interesting, but it's got to be a fairly decent source because it came from like Deadline and The Hollywood Reporter. So, you know, that's pretty insane that there might be a second Once Upon a Time in Hollywood movie. Like, Quentin Tarantino doesn't really do sequels, so for him to write the script and then just be like, someone else can direct it, and they're getting somebody like David Fincher, that might be insane. And then Lionsgate dropped the biggest news of day 2 and some of the best news from CinemaCon that got me most excited, and that is that John Wick Chapter 5 is officially in the works with Chad Stahelski coming back to direct. Also, Keanu Reeves is coming back as John Wick, obviously in John Wick 5, but also along with John Wick 5, Donnie Yen's character of Kane is getting his own spin-off movie, and Donnie Yen will direct. Crazy. Plus, an animated John Wick prequel film showing us that will also star Keanu Reeves with the director of Ultraman Rising, Shannon Tittle, will direct, and the prequel animated film will show John Wick, you know, in the impossible challenge he had to face that they mentioned in the movies, and this is like the prequel synopsis. The animated film will go back in time to tell the story of John Wick before the first film as he completes the impossible task, the killing of all of his rivals in one night, in order to free himself from his obligations to the High Table and earn the right to be in love with the love of his life, Helen. So we're going to get a prequel showing us all the things that led to his wife dying and him, you know, getting out of the High Table, and then John Wick 1 through 4 brings him back into the High Table, and then John Wick 4, he maybe took down a key piece to the High Table, maybe not all of the High Table, but maybe a piece of it, and maybe John Wick 5 is him dismantling the whole High Table, you know what I mean? Like, he comes for vengeance and takes out everybody. But, you know, spoilers for John Wick 4, if anyone hasn't seen it, technically at the end of John Wick 4, we see a grave with John Wick's name on it. Now, we don't see a body go into that grave, so I never believe that he actually is dead, but we do see a grave, so they could have sold that, like, hey, he's dead, we're done, no more fifth film. But here we are, John Wick 5 in the works. And Keanu Reeves is also going to be showing up in the Ballerina movie later this year with Ana de Armas. Actually, pretty soon I think that comes out, and I'm very excited to see Ballerina. You know, just one of the first spin-off movies for them. And if Ballerina does well, then I'm sure the Donnie Yen Kane movie will do great. But yeah, very interesting stuff for John Wick 5 in the works. I'm so excited for that. The Baba Yaga returns. But day 3 was Universal's day, and they announced that Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's The Smashing Machine movie, where he will be playing a UFC star, Mark Kerr, and that will be dropping October 3rd. And here's a look of The Rock with no tattoos as Mark Kerr, The Smashing Machine. I have a feeling we're gonna only see The Rock in this role, but I'm optimistic. Maybe he's finally getting in his head that, like, he could be a really good actor and not just The Rock. But also Universal confirmed that the Super Mario Bros. 2 movie is in the works and will be coming out April of 2026. And I really liked the Super Mario 1 movie. So the Super Mario Bros. Are back, and I don't know what the second film will be about, but maybe we'll get more of Luigi in the mix, you know what I'm saying? I would like that. The first one was pretty much all Mario. We need a little bit more Luigi in the mix. You know, Charlie Day's hilarious. They also announced over the last week that the Nintendo Switch 2 is coming out in Mario Kart World. It's like an open world Mario Kart thing, and it looks wild, and it looks like super advanced and shit, but it also is like $80. Like, comment below, will you be getting the new Mario Kart, the new Switch? I might have to, just for shits and gigs, but like, Mario Kart, Super Mario game, I'm not mad at it. And then day 4 was Disney, and I'm not sure if this one includes Disney or Universal, but either way, it came out, like, the news came out in between, so I didn't know where to stick it. But the Naked Gun reboot, which I believe was like, what, Leslie Nielsen? Or, yeah, I think that might have been his name. And he was a famous comedian back in the day that did the Naked Gun movies, and he sadly passed away. But it looks like they're doing a reboot with Liam Neeson. Liam Neeson, the Naked Gun. The law's reach never stretched this far. Coming soon. That's hilarious. The Naked Gun is coming August 1st of this year, I believe. So stay tuned for a Naked Gun reboot if you're into those type of comedies. Now, we then got a lot of posters for the Thunderbolts movie, and they did like a little skit at CinemaCon where the Red Guardian, David Harbour, pulls up as Alexi in his, like, you know, limousine karting service, and he pulls up with the Thunderbolts in the back, and they were late because they had to pick up Wyatt Russell's character because he was drunk at a casino and had lost 35 grand. For some reason, I was like, okay, I don't think we needed to tell this part of the story, but alright. And yeah, just a funny little bit that they did at CinemaCon. And I believe they probably showed another trailer there, but not all the trailers got released to the public. So those are just special for the people there in the theater. But we'll quickly go through these Thunderbolts posters. There's one here of Ghost, Yelena, John F. Walker, John Fuckboy Walker, Red Guardian, Bucky Barnes, and Taskmaster, and those are like each of their symbols: the star, the fist, the shield, another shield, the Black Widow logo in her like ghost mask. Yelena gets her own poster, her like Black Widow black poster. And then most of the rest of these posters are like black, dark themed, almost like the Century took the light out of everything type themed poster. But here's a Taskmaster poster for Antonia Dreykov. So we do know that it is the same Antonia from Black Widow, but we also think that she's probably not long for this world. Here's one that's super soldiers, scrappy anti-heroes, more like it. And John Walker, Bucky, and Red Guardian. I can't wait to see these three super soldiers interacting with each other, because most of this team just punches, kicks, and shoots. So we'll see. Here's another Thunderbolts poster with Ghost, Taskmaster, Bucky, John F. Walker, Yelena, and Red Guardian. Here's another one with the 6 of them, but all black this time. Interesting little posters, and why they're like black and creepy. Thunderbolts all in black again. I kind of like this one the most. Silhouettes of all the characters with their little nameplates. Now this one was yellow, and this one was on a billboard, I believe, in like LA and in Vegas, and it says Thunderbolts, May 2nd. This is a Thunderbolt. This is a bolt. This is a Thunderbolt. This is a lightning bolt. This is a deadbolt. This is an eye bolt, and this is a wheel bolt. But these are Thunderbolts. And talking about all the people, you know, Bucky gets his own one. And, you know, Bucky looks great, man. I can't wait to see Bucky saving the day. And, of course, now the Thunderbolts, not supers, not heroes, not giving up. Thunderbolts, May 2nd, right? And from that one Century teaser poster we got, or teaser trailer, it said that like he's the strongest Avenger and the new Earth's mightiest hero, and he starts attacking and the Avengers aren't coming, so who's going to protect the people? And that's where the Thunderbolts come in. You know, they're not necessarily the good guys, but nobody else is around to save the people, so Bucky, I think, steps up as the leader of the team. So almost like this is an Avengers team and Bucky is the Captain America of this team. I kind of love it. All I'm saying is John Walker is not the Captain America of this team. Even if he is, he's not, right? Like, John Walker needs to be the dirt on the bottom of your shoe of this team. I hate John Walker. Johnny F. Mayonnaise, I hate you. Not Wyatt Russell, just Johnny Mayonnaise. But then Disney released their 2025 movie slate, which is pretty insane, right? Because this is still the rest of this year, and we're in April. So we have Thunderbolts, Fantastic Four coming, then Zootopia 2, Avatar Fire and Ash coming around Christmas, The Amateur, which is, I believe, a movie with Rami Malek, which comes out soon, I believe, Lilo and Stitch, Elio, Freakier Friday, Tron Ares, which they released a trailer for and a poster, but we'll talk about that at the end, Predator Badlands, which there was a trailer and teaser for, and Ella Fanning's in this movie, and they only showed it at CinemaCon, and I'm dying to see a trailer for Predator Badlands, because apparently it's like not a sequel to Prey, and they're still making that, but this is like, poses the question, what if there was an outcast predator, and what if that predator decided to be the good guy? So I believe what we're going to see is Ella Fanning teaming up with an outcasted predator, and they're going to go and hunt down other predators. So that could be an insane movie. Also a movie, I don't know what this is about, but Ella McKay. Comment below if you know anything more about these movies that I'm mentioning. The Roses from somebody, I can't read the fine print there. And then the final one is Deliver Me From Nowhere, which I believe is the biopic of Bruce Springsteen that the guy from Beef is playing, Jeremy Allen White. I'm not sure. Tell me if I'm wrong. There was this funny ass Lilo and Stitch poster from CinemaCon, and he's like snapping the Marvel Studios logo. He's got a rose, he's got a bit Mickey hat, he's got the ball from Pixar, he's got the lamp behind him from Pixar. I believe that's the lamp from Aladdin, a lightsaber from Star Wars, 20th Century Fox poster on the walls hanging down. The Avengers logo has a chomp out of it. Like, just a funny poster, but May 23rd for Lilo and Stitch for the kids out there. And then just ending out the Disney stuff, Star Wars released a couple of new announcements, and we're going to be getting a Star Wars Tales of the Underworld for May 4th for the Star Wars Day, and Star Wars Tales of the Underworld. And we're going to be getting stories about Asajj Ventress, maybe an origin story for Cad Bane, two of my favorite characters in the Clone Wars era of Star Wars. So, not mad at that. I do like the Tales things, like they did Tales of the Jedi, Tales of the Sith, now Tales of the Underworld. The little tales, the visions, I do like those little shorts that, the animated shorts that Star Wars has been doing. I have really enjoyed those, especially Visions. But I'm not sure if this was a fan-made poster and I was bamboozled, or if this was real, so I pulled it anyways. And a potential 2026 limited series that will be animated for Star Wars called Clone Uprising. I'm not sure, but it looks like maybe Commander Rex or Fives or somebody. Also, that looks like maybe Echo. I don't know. But Clones Uprising and like a Clone Wars style show? I don't know. So just wrapping up the Disney panel here at CinemaCon, James Cameron's Avatar Fire and Ash debuted a dazzling trailer at CinemaCon with footage of epic battles in the evil Na'vi. So we're going to be getting like a fire tribe, and it's going to be Na'vi versus Na'vi, which we haven't really seen. We've only really seen Na'vi versus Sky People. So this could get, you know, kind of Civil War-y almost on Pandora. But the footage hasn't been released to the public, and I'm dying to see a trailer for Avatar 3, and for sure we'll be in theaters this Christmas for that. But they confirmed with just this one shot that the whale, Payakan, will be returning in this movie, and the whale was one of the best characters in the second movie, and if you don't know, you need to know. And if you're wondering, if you're like, I've never seen the Avatar movies, they're too long, I just never watched them, you're missing out. The first Avatar movie is so long ago, it feels like, 20 years ago it came out, which it damn near is like 15, but it's older movie, but it holds up so well for a 2010 movie. And then, they waited a decade and then didn't come out with the sequel until, 2023, 2024? And the sequel is absolutely incredible. Like, it looks so good. It looks like they've worked on this movie for 10 years. You know what I mean? It looks so crisp. It's so good. And I thought the same thing about 2010's Avatar. So now they've been working and polishing up this third one for as many years, because he's shot 2 and 3 at the same time. And now he's going back and shooting 4 and 5 at the same time. So we still have 3 more Avatar films coming to us, but they probably won't come out until 2030 something by the last one. But I don't know, time flies when James Cameron's having fun, right? And then just the last 2 little pieces of news. 4-4 day was the other day, and everyone was expecting a Fantastic Four trailer, and all they gave us was this poster of 4s in 4s and the Fantastic Four in the 4s, and that's coming July 25th. So no Fantastic Four poster, no trailer. I feel like we are due for some type of trailer for the Fantastic Four, another one for Superman for sure. Maybe Superman will get on Superman Day. Maybe the Fantastic Four will get never. I don't know. We're only like, maybe the Fantastic Four will get, as we're like sitting in theaters for Thunderbolts, the trailer that will run before that movie will probably be for the Fantastic Four trailer, the new one. You know, I'm sure that they're probably both the Superman trailer and the Fantastic Four current trailers are probably playing in theaters before everything right now. I need to get back over to the movies too. I haven't been to the movies since like February, since Captain America Brave New World. Like, oof, I didn't go all of March. That's shameful to me. I need to catch up and go to a couple movies. But the last movie and last thing I'll be talking about today was the poster and trailer for Tron Ares. I didn't pull the trailer because I didn't think it was that good. I mean, it looks pretty good, but because it's Jared Leto, I'm just not, you know, optimistic. I just don't really love him as an actor. Everything he's been in, I find him just creepy and weird. And the only movie I found him really good in was The Little Things with Denzel, and he plays like a serial killer, creepy weirdo. And I was like, yeah, he's perfect. Like, it was the only role I ever saw where I was like, yeah, he nailed it. Like, but the poster for Tron Ares here says no going back. October 10th this comes out. They filmed it for IMAX. It's kind of got this black and red theme with the black and red bike, and they showed the motorcycles whipping through the real world, where I thought the Tron shit was like in a video game world. Maybe I need to go back and watch Tron, but is it weird that they're in the real world? Is it just me? I don't know. Comment below. What are the things that you were excited about that we talked about today? Are you ecstatic about the Spider-Man 4 news and the new title? Sony, Universal, Disney, Warner Brothers, all the stuff that dropped over the last week. Comment below what's your favorite piece of news. Rest in peace, Val Kilmer. What are you looking forward to? Comment below what you're watching right now. Today is Sunday when I'm filming this for Monday morning. Sunday night, tonight, you know, this will be tomorrow morning. So, you know, last night was the finale for White Lotus Season 3, and I am dying to see what happens there, so I will be watching that tonight. But comment below your thoughts on all these things. If you got any questions for me, leave those down below, or you can message me on my podcast email or my other social medias down in the description below. Go check those out. And if you made it this far in the video and you would like to support me and support the channel, the best way of doing that is liking this video, subscribing if you haven't already, hitting that bell so you get the notifications and you don't miss future videos, commenting below, all the things, subscribing, liking, always help. Following the other social media channels, they all really go a long way to supporting me and supporting the channel. I appreciate you guys a lot if you do that. One more time, my name is Big Cam, and I will see you beautiful people in the next one. Peace.